So, do you only need 144 SOL tokens to become a crypto millionaire? Well, today you will find out the answer to that question, but I'm going to go above and beyond because I'm going to actually give you guys the exact amount of SOL tokens you need to acquire based on my price prediction, but also I'm going to give you some supporting reasons for that answer and also some concerns at the very end of the video because I feel like there definitely are a lot of concerns I have had and still do have with Solana. Okay, so first of all, how much is 144 SOL? Well, at the current price of about $20, wrong side, and 84 cents, that's about $3,000, okay? Now, in the 2022 bull market, 144 SOL would have copped you $37,000. So that's just over a 10x. That's pretty good return on investment, at least in regards to traditional measures. Now, in 2025, my prediction is a $409 below off top price prediction, making that $58,000, aka a 20x. So, I mean, I don't muck around here, guys. I mean, I'm just giving you the answer straight away. 144 SOL tokens, at least at my price prediction, ain't going to cut it. And here is why. In 2025, again, $409, the market cap is going to have to go to $256 billion. Now, I've definitely given higher price predictions for smaller market cap, at least of right now, projects, but they're more promising in my opinion. Now, I know all these Solana fans are going to get angry at me for saying that. Don't worry, I'm definitely starting to see there's a vision here with Solana. Don't get me wrong, I want to be completely transparent, but also I want to say there's still a lot of market cap. That's a lot of money circling around. Now, that's in consideration with 625 million tokens floating around. Now, this is going to be about, there'll actually be a little bit less. The price, if the market cap does go this high, should actually be a little bit more because I've taken the total supply into circulation, not the circulating supply, because there's a locked tokens currently that will probably still be locked at that time. Essentially, as I said, turning $3,000 into $58,000. So let's figure out how much it's going to be to become a millionaire with Solana, right? There's two sides of this. We can go, okay, what's the price going to be? And also, how many tokens do we have to accumulate if the price is going to stay at $409? So, first of all, let's look at how much the price will have to go to for us to become millionaire off 144 SOL. Well, a whopping $6,950. And for those of you thinking that's somewhat reasonable, you're wrong. The market cap's going to have to go to $4.3 trillion with the same circulating supply. Yes, that was more than the entire previous bull market by a whole stretch, okay? So the much more realistic thing to do here is how much SOL do we have to accumulate at the current price of $20.84 to become a millionaire in at least 2025. Now, originally I did have my 2029 price prediction on here as well, but I thought that's a bit too far. I think let's just keep it to 2025 and keep it somewhat reasonable because I'll be completely honest, I don't really know Solana's exact vision for 2029 plus because I still feel like they're trying to find that, at least in my opinion, okay? Now, you'll have to accumulate approximately 2,450 SOL tokens at the current price, meaning you'll have to spend $51,000 at today's prices, okay? So yeah, you can kind of see why, okay, if you don't want to become a Solana millionaire, then this is going to be fine with you. But if you're someone who's hell-bent on becoming, a millionaire with SOL, or at least having enough money with SOL to be classified as a millionaire, well, guess what? You're going to have a long way to go if you're nowhere near this number. At least, even if you bought at $1 hypothetically, if you're nowhere near this number, well, chances are you're not going to become a so-called millionaire. It depends on how much you've invested, okay? So, ultimately, how have I come up with this crazy, $200-ish billion price prediction? And is Solana actually still a good investment? Well, I'm going to give you both sides of the coin. Now, upon researching more about Solana, I'm actually more interested in the project now, but I still, as I said before, do have my concerns, as I do with every single project. It's healthy to poke holes in the ship. After all, it's your money and my money we're dealing with here. So here's the how, okay? So this is the market dominance in purple against the price in green. The market dominance of Solana against the whole entire market pretty much means Solana's current market cap versus the entire market cap. This chart is excellent because what it tells us is the project isn't just performing well when the price, or at least the dominance, spikes above the price. What it actually tells us is that Solana is beating the market when it goes up because it's actually, the market cap is gaining at a far more advanced rate than the rest of the market is, okay? It's taken up more of the share. So back in 2021, it went up to a 2.65% peak with the market cap being $78.2 billion and the circulating supply was about 303 million tokens, okay? Now, what I've actually done is fast-forwarded this at least to what we can approximate to be about 2025, and if we consider the global market cap being $10 trillion, and we reach this same market dominance, now I want to say, all the good projects should at least get back to their same market dominance. We'll see a market cap of, again, $256 billion, again, in 2025. Now, if you're wondering, just for a side note, why the hell it massively dipped here out of the blue, well, that's because Binance actually almost bought out FTX, if most of you should know back then. And why this actually impacts Solana is because, as you guys know, FTX and Alameda Research, they hold quite a lot of Solana tokens. We'll touch on this in a minute. And this would have actually given CZ, the owner of the Binance chain, 10% of the entire sort of supply of or at least the market cap of Solana. Therefore, if he sold those tokens, it would have tanked the price. So the market got quite scared. Just for the record, I thought I'd better mention that for you guys. All right, so what is Solana? Now, the question I'm about to pose to you is a question I had to ask myself, and I have been asking myself with many projects, okay? Let me read it out to you. Moving into 2025 plus, networks, which are blockchains, need a competitive advantage over their own competitors that benefits a specific niche. There won't be many so-called general purpose blockchains that last a long time. So what is Solana focusing on that is different from other networks? And hopefully that should suffice as an answer, but I'm just going to briefly elaborate. For those who don't know, there's going to be many, many blockchains, and there already is many blockchain networks, okay? So what is, why would I rather use Algorand over Solana? Of course, the ecosystem plays a big part in here, but I'm talking in the future, and this is why I couldn't quite give a 2029 price prediction, even though it's going to be, quite skewed regardless, because ultimately, what is Solana's USP? And I was thinking about it, and obviously I'm not as knowledgeable on Solana as I am other networks, and you guys know which ones those are. So I didn't want to give you a definitive answer, but what I kind of came up with, and my answer to this question was, they kind of focus really heavily on Web3 and IoT. And I'll talk to you about why in just a second, right? 𝗡cie𝗿𝗱𝗩𝗡, which is the co-founder of Solana, and many other core devs share experience in building cell phone networks, which then, of course, focus on speed and efficiency. Now, we can see this with Helium and also a new sort of application called Hive Mapper. Now, these are sort of like IoT and IoT, Internet of Things, right? It's this new world where everything's going to be like sort of connected in a way. And I think the way that Solana has been created, it can do this through proof of history and also through proof of stake, right? So it can offer this, but there are some downsides to this sort of scheme as well. But ultimately, this is where I feel like Solana is going, and I feel like where its niche will fit into the market, okay? Now, proof of history. Let's talk a little bit about this and why it's so special. Now, it is a novel technology to Solana. It was created again by the co-founder of Solana, 𝗏cie, and works on the backbone, of proof of stake. So it's in addition to that, allowing for IoT supply chains and games to work really well on the network. So it's similar to Hedera Hashgraph, how they have the fair ordering of transactions. It's the same thing, but it's integrated much more deeply into how transactions are actually, punched into the network. There is, again, some downsides with this, but I see a lot of upsides, and I think that's why it would work really well with IoT and why Helium has specifically moved strictly over to the Solana network. So yeah, reading this sort of stuff, I was very bullish on Solana. I think a lot of people that are looking into the network should give them some credit here. Okay, also they're looking at developing a Solana phone. Now again, there are some good and bad sides of this, but essentially Solana is creating their own phone, the SOL phone. It's called something else, right? But essentially, you can just pretty much have Web3 in the palm of your hand. It's easily integrate with dApps, NFTs, whatever it might be, right? So, you have access to DeFi and stuff like that, as well as normal phone functions, okay? They're still working on it, but really excited for it, okay? Number 2, we have a dense ecosystem. So there are currently 1,878 dApps built on Solana, and they are increasing this at a much more rapid rate than what Ethereum has been, at least in the past. Now the TVL as well, $265 million so far, and 19 out of the top 20 dApps are strictly native to Solana. It's huge. You want, as a layer 1 network, you want as many applications using you strictly as possible. Of course, you can integrate, but ideally you want to have them choosing to build with you, right? Because that's when they can bring all the money into the network and obviously use the underlying token, the SOL token, to capture that value, and obviously the price of Solana will go up as a consequence. I hope that makes sense for all you guys who are new to the channel. All you OGs know what I'm talking about, right? Now developers as well, they have 344 full-time developers, which is a key metric to look at because it does support the dApps that are built on the network, and it's actually the 4th most in the entire crypto space, right behind Ethereum, Polkadot, and Cosmos. Now the validators as well, we have 1,830 active, which is again in that top percentile throughout the whole entire space, which is what I love. However, I must admit, only 33 pretty much control more than 33% of the entire stake, which means if they do collude, they come together, they can attack the network and then bring it down. Now, this is the same with most projects. I want to make that very aware, but I just thought I'd mention that as okay. So, and the third and final bullish point before we get into some of the concerns is the supply. Actually, I really like this, okay? Now, there is an inflation rate. It's currently 6.325%, but it will drop 15% of this value every single year, reaching a very, very bottom low and capping out at 1.5%. So there will be a time where it'll always be 1.5%, but that's very, very minimal, okay? It's also potentially going to be deflationary eventually as each transaction is burnt 50%, which is very good to see as well. Although I want to say there is also a supply shock imminent as well, even though it is an inflationary network, because there is a somewhat low supply and the eventual 1.5%, year-on-year inflation rate is so small that there is going to be a chance that there will be a supply shock. Obviously, it won't take much for demand to kind of outshine that, especially with this burn feature implemented as well. So overall, guys, I must admit, and I don't like telling you guys when I know a lot about something when I don't. Solana is one I'm still learning, but I did find this very interesting, and I think I want to give it a chance. I am not currently invested in it, and I want to disclose that for the record as well. But for all you SOL holders, I want to let you guys know, look, there is potential in this project, but I do need to do more research, and I think a lot of people might misunderstand it, specifically because some of the concerns I want to talk about in just a second. Now, first of all, some really bullish facts that actually I was like, mind blown at, okay? Let's look at the holders. 11.5 million, one of the largest in the space. Look at this. This is one of the best I've ever seen as well. Right next to Cardano, 33.37% of the total SOL tokens are in the top 100 wallets. That's actually very, very good. Twitter, 2.2 million followers. Again, one of the largest in the entire space. And the average social engagement as well is in the top 10 in the entire space at 407 million daily active social engagements. There's a community here. People are talking about SOL, and sometimes that's all you need to make the price go up, okay? But again, it can get held down with some of these things, okay? There's three things I want to talk to you guys about today that, again, you should be very well aware of. Now, down below in the description, I'm going to link you to a Twitter thread that I got some of this information from a gentleman called Justin Bonds. He's a highly respected person, at least in my eyes, in the crypto space. He's one of those guys like 𝗚cie𝗿𝗡𝗩𝗡. He just says it how it is. So you should go ahead and read through that thread. He mentions more about this and more. So you guys should do some of your own research in that case, okay? So concerns, okay? So faking stats. Solana has been accused of fake transactions by counting consensus coordination messages, which actually ended up boosting TPS numbers by 100x. At least apparently. That sounds quite exaggerated to me, but essentially, the way the nodes communicate, that counts as transactions when really they aren't transactions. So ultimately, Solana's come out and said all these amazing numbers when really, in reality, at least in the past, it hasn't been the case. And as far as I'm aware, they haven't updated that yet, okay? Number two, they have faked at least 7 billion worth of TVL at its peak of 10 billion, way back at the peak of the 2021 bull market, by 2xing, counting the TVL of only 2 protocols in the ecosystem. So they faked about $7 billion worth of TVL. And this has come out as true, and because they said that they were angry that Ethereum had so much TVL. Go figure. I don't know. Now, number three, lying about initial circulating supply. They held on to this lie for quite a while, and there was about 13 million tokens that weren't counted in the total supply. Someone went digging, found it, and then they said, oh, we admit to that. But it was used for a certain reason when in reality it really wasn't. So there's a little bit of concerns here, and I think you guys on the Solana community might attack me for bringing these to light, but I do think for my average crypto investor out there that just comes in and watches my videos, you should be aware of these sort of things, okay? Number two, outages. Solana's network has gone down approximately 10 times in the last 1.5 years. This is by far more than any other prime, S-tier crypto project out there, network, okay? And FTX and Alameda, right? The elephant in the room. 17% of all sold tokens are held within the FTX and Alameda research liquidators, which would dump the price in future. So they don't hold their tokens. It's in the hand of the liquidators because they're obviously, Chapter 11 bankruptcy or whatever it might be right now, whatever stage it's at. Essentially, if those decide to be unlocked and sold on the market for whatever reason, liquidated, essentially it will crash the price. Now, is this a bad thing? Well, actually, no, because anyone convicted in Solana might actually have the chance to pick the tokens up really cheaply. I mean, you saw how sharp the price dropped with the fact that CZ might dump 10% of the supply. So I thought you guys might notice that. There's a double-edged sword for that one, in my opinion. Now, that will do it for this video, guys. I hope you have enjoyed it. Check out the videos on your screen for my best 5 altcoins for 2025, and also this one over here, which is why you need 1000 XRP. Now, I want to say for the record, I don't not like Solana. Again, I'm very intrigued with it now thanks to proof of history, but I just couldn't give you guys any sort of, you know, real strong reasons as to why I love it, because I have just disliked it for so long because of those concerns. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I really appreciate it. And ultimately, I hope you have a great day. Talk to you soon.